you know, it looks like I'm just getting ready to delve into lunch. In a way, I could be, or this could be my daughter's lunch, or potentially her lunch, and we're at that time of year where the lunches may have gotten a little boring. We go for the quick picks, and they're often not the most nutritious choices. Well, Jenna Gass is here. She's with TruJoy Nutrition and Wellness, and we're going to change that today. We're going to come up with some great options that are yummy options for the kids and get that nutrition packed back in their lunch.
That's right. So I find a lot of parents saying to me, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm getting a balanced nutrient intake for my child. I don't really know if I'm getting maybe enough protein or that sort of thing in their lunches. So what I've done is I've come up with 5 simple tips that can ensure that you're getting a balanced lunch for both adults and children alike.
Yeah, Mark and I were talking about that earlier in the show, and while we're focusing mainly on the kids' lunches,
yes,
I'm the worst one for getting their lunches all ready and out the door, and then I walk out with nothing, and then, like Mark said, you end up the vending machine is your friend, or not.
Which we don't want.
No, absolutely
Yes.
not. So you talked about protein. To me, that tends to be the trickiest one to incorporate.
So my first rule is to pack protein, and most people just assume that protein is, you know, meat, things like dairy products, that sort of thing. They forget about the other wonderful protein sources out there. So what I have is 1 cup of cooked quinoa, which actually is equal to 8 grams of protein.
Is it really?
It is.
See, I love it. It's become one of my favorites, and I knew it had the protein in it, which is a bonus because it's almost like a grain as opposed
It's
to
actually a seed, which is great too because there's no gluten or anything like that. So people that have any sort of wheat or gluten allergy are able to have quinoa. Also, it's a complete protein, meaning that you have all your amino acids in it, so that you're not going to actually, something, for example, like lentils is actually missing some of the amino acids. So if you combine the two together, you're getting the full protein amino acid spectrum, which is really important. So a cup of lentils is equal to 14 grams of protein, which is really great. And if your kids are basically between the ages of 4 and 12, we're looking at 35 to 45 grams of protein for them.
So that's getting in basically a third of what they need in a day.
Exactly. So if you can pack something like that, that would be ideal. The next thing that I recommend is to pack vegetables. As we know, vegetables...
Kids love vegetables.
They love them.
Too. Just can't get enough of them.
So I always recommend if you can pack 2 servings of vegetables in your kids' lunch, that is wonderful. To give you an idea of what a serving looks like, I have 1 cup of, or sorry, it's actually half a cup of sliced vegetables. That's equal to 1 serving. Or a cup of spinach or some sort of leaf vegetable is also equivalent to a serving. So if you can pack or cut up a bunch of vegetables on like a Sunday night, have them in the fridge, just grab them, throw them into your kids' lunch.
Makes it really easy.
Makes it really easy.
And can I ask, Jenna, is it okay to send a little bit of dip with them? Because I know kids love to dip. Anytime they can dunk things or dip it.
I love dipping myself. So I would recommend something like hummus, for example. If your kids can do, if they're a nut-free school, then we can do something like tahini even. If you are able to take nuts in your lunch, then you can do something like almond butter. Those all make great options. Or just throw extra vegetables on your kid's sandwich, for example.
Oh, that's a good idea, too. You sneak it in without them even knowing.
Number 3 is to pack fruit. So fruit, I say pack a serving of fruit. 1 piece of fruit, like an apple or a pear, would be equivalent to a serving. Half a cup of berries is a serving.
Oh, it's everything I can do not to just do this, Jenna, with the blueberries.
They are Canadian blueberries, too.
Beautiful.
This very important, obviously, too. We have, you know, cold and flu season coming up, so if you can take some extra fruit in your kids' lunch, get those antioxidants in them, that would be great.
But I love the cute little sayings you've come up with. It's pack a fruit a day to keep the flu away.
Yes.
And it's true, all of these things. And as soon as you get kids back into a classroom, where all those germs just get to mix and mingle, it doesn't take long before the first colds and the first flus are all spreading around again.
So let's prevent that as much as possible. 4th, I recommend whole grains. So whole grains meaning there is a sufficient amount of fiber. If you are going to buy something like a loaf of bread, look for 2 grams of fiber per slice. That's ideally what you want. Per slice. Something like, for example, a cup of brown rice, that is equivalent to 4 grams of fiber. A cup of oats is equivalent to 8 grams of fiber.
And I do know some kids who aren't big on sandwiches and different things, but love oatmeal in their lunch, just to do up a little thermos of oatmeal.
Yeah, you can kind of make homemade granola, you know, add some yogurt, some berries, or even do something like oatmeal cookies.
Oh, that's perfect.
And my last tip is to get rid of the juice box and fill it with a funky, kind of fun water bottle. We consume 150 pounds of sugar per year in North America.
Wow.
The third place that we get that sugar from is fruit drinks.
And, you know, I've done that with my kids with different drinks to show them, you know, with so many teaspoons of sugar in it. When you
That's great,
do
yeah.
that and actually do the dump to show them how much sugar you're ingesting in just the little drinking box or the little cup that you're
Yes.
drinking, they're always amazed, as am I
know.
how much you're drinking that way.
Exactly. So I say save the money on the juice boxes, buy some funky water bottles, fill it up with water. If your kids don't like just a plain water, add some berries to the water. Let it soak overnight in a big pitcher on the counter.
Just infuse it.
Exactly,
Okay.
infuse it, and then you have a nice natural flavored water.
Well, and in a lot of the schools, they can take the water bottles right to their desk now. They can keep them on their desk so that they're drinking throughout the day.
Which is great. Keep
which is
hydrated,
nice too.
yes.
Now, there might be people who are looking and thinking, I know all of these things are very, very healthy for my child, but if I put something like that into their lunch pail, they're just going to go, ooh. But what you're saying, these are the basic ingredients.
Exactly.
And there are recipes that you can provide to
Yes.
blend some of these in to make them a very
Yes.
attractive meal for your
Exactly.
kids.
So when I leave here today, I'm going to post some recipes on my website, www.trujoy.ca, and you can actually see for yourself. There will be some recipes posted using some of these ingredients I've talked about today.
So can you give me an example? Like for
For
the
example,
lentils, what might you use
lentil
that for?
quinoa burger. Lentil
burger?
quinoa, a burger. Yes.
Really?
And it's great. You can make a bunch of them up at a time, and then you just literally can throw them onto a, like a healthy bun or something like that, or even onto, if you're for an adult, maybe a bed of greens or something like that for a salad.
See, and that's so great. And anytime you can do something like that, that it's not only just for one lunch, but you could make up,
Exactly.
8 patties that are going to last you for the week, or do a couple of kids' lunches, and that's
Yes.
such a great thing.
Quick, easy is my motto.
You obviously have kids because you know all the
I don't,
bases
but-
that you should. Well, but you worked with enough moms.
Yes,
I'm
I've
sure
worked
that
with enough
have,
moms that I know.
because you're hitting all the key things: the quick, the healthy, and everything else that it needs. So go to the website. Jenna's going to have some great recipes there that you can find out, or just find out more about the services she offers.
thank you.
And I think I'll just keep this for my lunch now, because I'll eat it like this.
Okay.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, Susan.
All right, when we come back, it is one giant man cave and one great night. It is known as Manex. We'll tell you all about it when we get back. Stay with us.